welcome back to the Wrestling Bubble. This is your AEW Dynamite review, and tonight we're in the Motor City, Detroit, and we start off with Hangman Adam Page coming down to the ring, cutting a promo, talking about how he and Swerve have had, a checkered past, but he's on to bigger and better things. He's willing to put that behind him so he can get the job done against Will Ospreay for the Owen World Cup. And what do you think about this promo from Hangman?
I feel like he could have summed it up. Basically, he's trying to explain how he's trying to find himself. He had a troubled past, with Swerve, Danielson, his mentor, and some other people that he crossed paths with. He don't understand why the fans still cheer for him and stuff like that. It's like I wasn't sure if he was looking for like something from the fans, but at the same time don't want something from the fans. Cause then he's like he wants Swerve to stay out of his way at the same time. I don't know. It's like to me he was a little bit all over the place in my opinion.
I still don't like the way he cuts promos.
No.
He always sounds like this, and when I see you, it's gonna be a whole lot of cowboy shit, and like I just don't like his voice. It never sounds intimidating. He don't sound like a tough guy. Like maybe it's because I grew up with like Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, all them, like where they actually sound like they were pissed and they were ready to whoop your ass. So yeah, I cannot listen to a Hangman Adam Page promo. But yeah, so
You also had Will Ospreay came out because this is the first time these two ever face to face with each other.
yeah, Will Ospreay comes out and it actually gets a little bit better from there, because Will brings a little bit more intensity in his promos. And while they're talking, you end up having a Don Callis family, or Don Callis. The Don Callis family comes out, interrupts their promo. Will Ospreay ends up challenging. He tells Don Callis, like, you could take any two. Basically, we're getting a can they coexist tag team match.
Yeah.
So I don't even look forward to that. It'll just be a spot fest.
I'm pretty sure I don't think Kyle Fletcher and Kasha is going to be interfering with that match. Like, they're going to interfere, but I don't think they'll be part of that match.
Well, since you're talking about the Don Callis family, I was really starting to like the Don Callis family again when they kind of hit a little reset. And it was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago where he was talking about applications or whatever. The type of applications I thought he was talking about was like actual tough guys or like somebody that would come into the group and be more of like a game changer or something.
Right.
All right. So we had Kyle Fletcher, Konosuke Takeshita, and then eventually Josh Alexander, which I was hoping that he was just like kind of a friend to the group, but not necessarily in the group. But if he was in the group, I could at least I could take Josh Alexander being in the group, right? But look, I don't know when this happened. Maybe it happened on Collision or something. You get Trent Beretta, Rocky Romero, and who's the other guy? It was one more, right? Because there was like 6 people out there. 6 or 7 people. Like, look, Trent and Rocky Romero, why don't they just go be a tag team? Like, why do they have to be like Tony Khan always does this. He takes something that's already it's fine the way it is, and then he has to throw clowns in it. Like the Hurt Syndicate, like I love what the Hurt Syndicate's doing. This is a better version of the Hurt Syndicate than the Hurt Business, like when they were in WWE during the pandemic era and everything.
But they don't. To me, they could at least give him a better title run. But unfortunately, there's no one really can dominate them.
Well, what I was gonna say is, like, you take a group like that, and then you have MJF, which obviously the story's getting a little bit better, even though it feels like it's getting dragged out. But at least they're a serious, intimidating group. They can back up what they say.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm really hoping that MJF doesn't end up joining the group But even with that, you see how Tony Khan always has to insert some comedy where it's not
Well,
needed.
I would say while we're talking about the Hurricane Kid and MJF, during that before the segment, they had High Flight coming out, talking
Top
about
Flight.
Tight Flight, sorry, coming out to discuss they want a title shot,
Yeah.
which we all know that's not happening.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it will
think it was just
happen,
an
but they,
opportunity for
yeah.
them to talk on the mic, really.
But during the talk after they was done, you have MJF to prove to Bobby that he can hurt people. Man, he beat the living mess out of them.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, guys. There was another tag team that was in the audience, the Crew, right?
The kids.
Yeah, exactly. They look like children, okay? And they knew better than to go near that ring and where the Hurt Syndicate was. Like, no way. So we get MJF beating up Top Flight. He ends up opening one up. Like, he's bleeding all over the place. What are the names of the Marcus and Darius, or
I believe so. They're
okay?
brothers.
I think it was Darius. The guy, he's the one that's been around longer, because like I think Marcus is the one that keeps getting injured all the time. But yeah, he opened up Darius. He had him bleeding and everything. He wipes some of the blood on his tank top, and he gets in the ring and he says, "I hurt people." And honestly, Bobby Lashley looked like he was impressed. He looked like he was satisfied with it.
They could have just did the whole, for weeks we've been building up. Well, MJF during the Hurt Syndicate. That segment right there, I feel like to get a bigger reaction and a better like closing and a pop, they should have had Bobby do the thumbs up.
Yeah, honestly.
Instead of him saying, "We'll see next week." I'll give you an answer next week.
I'm just hoping that it's only being dragged out like this, and it's only, I guess, like putting a spotlight on the whole, like another member joining the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, everyone's talking about Cedric Alexander. And I hate to say this, he's not believable.
Yo, I would take Powerhouse Hobbs
over Cedric
in the Hurt Syndicate over Cedric. I would have even taken Ricochet over Cedric.
Yeah.
Okay, Cedric. He's damaged goods, in my opinion. I mean, maybe they could rehab him and he'd be more of a serious Cedric or whatever. Just don't ever give him a microphone.
Nope.
His voice is so annoying. But, like, look, we know Cedric is coming. Mm-hmm. And they're just dragging this out until he gets there.
Pretty much.
But it's like, I want to see how they do it. Like,
how they're going to bring him in?
Yeah, like, because he's coming regardless, right? So
I know some people was talking about when they finally said the yes, it's going to be when they introduce Cedric Alexander instead.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's Cedric either at the top of the ramp or whatever, and that's why they're giving a thumbs up, and MJF think it's for him,
right?
Or maybe Cedric's like behind him in the ring, and they're giving a thumbs up that he can join. MJF goes to like celebrate or shake their hands or something like that.
They probably
gonna beat him down. You're not
gonna
regret this. You're not gonna regret this, right? And then that's when they beat him down because he realized he's surrounded or whatever, and then boom. So I don't know. Like, I'm hoping for something like that.
And I really don't want no MJF or FTR, especially if they got Stoke with them.
Yeah. Speaking of Stoke,
you had the commentators trying to do a rundown of what's tonight's matches, and of course they had a little special guest, FTR and Stoke.
Yeah, Stokely Hathaway gets a microphone. He's in Tony Schiavone's face, telling him, basically, I know you've been out here talking trash about FTR, but most importantly about him. And they've apologized to him. They've been nice to him, and they don't have to put up with this crap. So they basically just intimidating him and everything. They push him down. Tony Schiavone stands up like he's going to do something. We all know he ain't going to do nothing. He ain't about that action.
And all his commentator friends just sitting there. It's just another Pat McAfee and Michael Cole segment, in my opinion.
Yeah, nothing to see here. And obviously it's just to promote something on Collision, because Collision's coming on Thursday, 8 p.m. So... yeah, I don't know how many people are going to watch Collision, even though it's on a Thursday instead of a Saturday, but We'll see when the numbers come out. So what we get next?
We have the Fatal 4 Eliminator match
Yeah, that had
for Tony Storm's championship.
Tony Storm, Thunder Rosa, Penelope Ford, and Anna Jay. Who?
Exactly. I forgot she was still at AEW.
Wow. I mean, hey, I'm pretty sure she's collecting a nice check. But who do you think won?
Of course, Tony Storm. I don't even know why they even did this. Obviously, they don't got nothing for Tony right now.
This is Tony doing charity work, trying to get more women on TV.
Pretty much, yep.
That's all this was. We got Megan Bain later on in the match coming in. It's obviously no disqualification because it's a fatal 4-way match. So she ends up beating up Anna Jay.
Mm-hmm. Because she's trying to help Penelope Ford.
Yeah, so she ends up hitting Anna Jay with this nice power bomb. It was nasty looking. I honestly think that should definitely be like a signature or something like that, or a backup finisher. Like, she does hit a nice power bomb. It was a sit-out power bomb.
Mm-hmm.
But Tony Storm wins.
She taps out Penelope Ford.
It was a short. It was like the match. It wasn't horrible, but like it really shows like how much ahead of these women Tony Storm is. Like, even Thunder Rosa didn't look good in this match either.
We forgot she was even in the match.
Yeah, she was like on the outside of the ring most of the time, just kind of like, I don't know, taking a nap or whatever.
I don't think Thunder care anymore.
I think we saw Anna Jay and Penelope Ford perform more in this match than Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
So moving on past that,
we had the 6-man tag.
Well, first we got the promo in the bag with Young Bucks and Ricochet.
Ugh, they didn't really care for that.
Right. Basically, Ricochet was like, yo, I done beat Swerve 2 times, so you just follow my lead. I got us, right? And after that promo, we get the Young Bucks. They're in front of their locker room. So as they're getting ready to go back in the locker room, it's dark. There's like a light on, but like we could see that it's the Death Riders waiting for the Young Bucks as they enter. and it was funny because the Young Bucks face, and he's like, what can we do for you?
Yeah.
And Marina Shafir shuts the door real quick, and we never, ever get to see anything else from the Death Rider. Well, between the Death Riders and the Young Bucks. So I don't even... What was the point of that? Find out next week, I guess. I don't know. Nothing came of that. So, what do we get next?
You lead into the second match. You have the Ring of Honor Television Championship. Nick Wayne versus special opponent.
So, will Nick Wayne go out there and make his father proud and defend his Ring of Honor championship against this special unnamed opponent? Well, Nick Wayne comes out. I like his theme song. Then we hear another theme song, a familiar theme song. We get Rhino, ECW legend. Rhino comes out, huge pop. The crowd loved him. So, long story short, Rhino looked good in this match. Nick Wayne was selling like crazy. Ultimately, Nick Wayne wins the match with the ugliest, unprettier I've ever seen. Well, kill switch. But it was terrible looking. Like, I don't know. I'd never do that finisher again. What do you think about the match?
It was short, so it's like really nothing much to say about it. I mean... Yeah, if he's gonna hit some finisher like that from Christian, he needs to work on it more.
Yeah, 2 things about this match. It was to get the pop and show Rhino come out and etc. So we got that, and then it was whatever happened after the match, which was Christian Cage, taking the title, holding it over in front of Nick Wayne as they celebrate, right? But then, as Nick Wayne wants him to hand him the championship, Christian Cage drops the belt on the ground and gets out the ring, smirks, walks away. Nick Wayne and Mama Wayne are left in the ring, confused. Who knows what's gonna happen next? But I'm still intrigued by the storyline because it's Christian Cage involved, and he's been killing it for years in AEW. So,
But after the match, Christian new thing is he's trying to put the belt on Nick Wayne. And I'm guess the crowd is not really behind it because they're chanting BS, BS towards Christian. I
right.
know people been talking about the whole Christian partnering up with Adam. To me, I'm not really seeing that happening
Yeah,
because
with
it's like,
Adam Copeland.
yeah, I'm not seeing that happening. It's like how we get there?
We should never get there. We should just
Honestly,
leave it
no.
alone.
Yep.
You look, ever since Adam Copeland came into AEW, it kind of watered down Christian for a little bit. He kind of became like this cowardly heel and whatever. And I didn't like that because, honestly, in my opinion, Christian Cage is money and Adam Copeland is old news. Overrated, rated R superstar. Okay. Next.
We have your third match. It's basically a 6-man tag. Mike Bailey, Mark Briscoe, and Swerve Strickland versus the Young Bucks and Ricochet. So you basically start off with Swerve and Ricochet.
Hold on. We got the entrances, right? Nothing special on the babyface's side. Except Swerve's house. We get the chance. All right. Young Bucks and Ricochet come out, and these jokers are looking like they got like superhero poses and whatnot. And it actually looks good with Ricochet in the middle, right? So start the match. The match is exactly what you thought it was. Flip fest, a bunch of spots, etc. Right? But the thing about it is, the match was actually good. That's the thing. Like the match was good. The crowd was completely into the match. Like the crowd popped for like almost everything because there was some selling in the match for a change, and of course it wasn't by the Young Bucks, but the crowd was definitely into this. There was some really nice spots in this match. The energy was there. I feel like this episode of Dynamite really needed a match like this to really, give it a higher ranking as far as like out of 10 goes. But yeah, the heels win. Ricochet won just like he said he would.
Mm-hmm.
And that was your match. I mean, there was, if you didn't see it, I wouldn't say go out of your way to watch it or whatever, but like it is a really good match.
But after that match, you had a little backstage segment with Will Ospreay and MJF also. So basically, you have MJF walking in talking to Will Ospreay, trying to show off his new AEW Dynamite reign, saying go shop AEW.com. And, to have a little heated conversation why MJF didn't enter to the Owen Hart. And then you have Will Ospreay saying because he was probably still heartbroken for losing at Wembley. Obviously, everyone knows MJF is trying to get his Triple A back, his little belt back. And he hopes Will Ospreay wins. I'm actually looking forward for a rematch for those two. Now that they, had that little heated conversation again to revisit the storyline. I don't know how Tony Khan's going to continue that storyline because it looks like Will Ospreay is in multiple storylines at this point. And then you have MJF with the whole Hurt Syndicate and everything. And don't remember, he also was talking to Adam Page also. So he's everywhere at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I like this little segment. It was I don't know, anytime MJF talks to another like main eventer, it's usually a good segment. And I like when MJF was going to walk away and Ospreay just pulled him back and say, "Hey, bruv, I'm on a whole nother level." Like, I like that because it gets us that much closer to serious MJF. And serious, heel, diabolical.
That people have been asking for.
Yeah, like that's what we need right there. So I feel like you got something brewing with the Hurt Syndicate, but then you have this segment with Will Ospreay that reminds you that MJF is still that guy. MJF got some plans working out. Like I'm really curious to see like where MJF's going with all this underhanded stuff he's got going on. But next we have the AEW International Championship match between Kazuchika Okada and Kevin Knight. So before the match even starts, Kevin Knight's on his way to the ring. Roosh comes out, attacks Kevin Knight ringside, beats him down, whatever. Okay. I guess Mike Bailey comes out to make sure that Kevin Knight is okay, whatever. Okada is just looking like, well, this is gonna be easy.
Or are we gonna start this match already? Like, he didn't care what's
Right,
going
like
on.
he's just like there's a whole lot of crazy stuff going on. So Kevin Knight ends up still going through with the match. Long story short, Rainmaker 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah, this wasn't much of a match. It was just an angle. It was a beatdown. Whatever's going on between Roosh and Kevin Knight or whatever, I don't know. But I like Roosh. I like Kevin Knight. But if it's involved, like if it's a story from Collision or whatever, you lost me.
Yeah, and it seems to me like the Outrunners are also going to get involved into this storyline. Also, well, I don't want to say storyline because we haven't seen those for a while, but also going to get involved with the Don Callis also with an 8-man tag. So they let them know they had to find a partner.
Yeah, this is another match I don't care about. This is not needed at all, but all right.
Speaking of a match we don't care about, we also had the main event. Samoa Joe versus Claudio
Castagnoli. First of all, Claudio's entrance was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like the elevator and all that, and he's walking up the stairs. That actually looked really cool, walking up the stairs like that. I like that. So can we get a little bit more creativity like that? AEW, that was much appreciated. Joe comes out, everybody's chanting Joe. This was a decent match. Not gonna say that I actually cared for it though. I like Joe. Claudio has just been around. He's usually just in the background anyways. So Joe wins. You didn't miss nothing.
Yeah, and basically, as everyone know, AEW tonight was just basically a build-up for a Double or Nothing. That makes it more important. You know, some people said Will Ospreay with MJF, that was pretty much their best promo that he ever cut. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like Dynamite was pretty decent. Of course, everyone's biggest thing is like it's still to me all over the place. Cause it's like you have Hangman here, you have Will Ospreay there, you have MJF here, feuding with Will Ospreay, talking to Hangman. You know, it's like where does it start? Where does it end? Then you have, you know, the Death Riders talking with the Young Bucks. We still don't know what was that about. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna find out probably next week or 2 weeks from now. But it's like hopefully they just stick with like put someone in one story and just run with it. Like you see Tony Storm is not in the story. She's just fighting anybody and everybody. So
Yeah, she's doing basically like open challenges. So he's got nothing for her.
Yeah.
The
only thing that's a little
no. We left
Jamie
out
Hayter
one thing. Jamie
attacking
Hayter and Mercedes
Mercedes
Moné.
Moné.
So Jamie Hayter was doing a backstage interview with Renee Paquette, talking about she was addressing all the comments that Mercedes made about her looking like a Scooby-Doo character, etc. Right, and their match coming up. And while Jamie Hayter's talking her trash or whatever, Mercedes Moné comes out of nowhere. We just see a hand enter the screen. And Jamie Hayter got up so quick, and she starts swinging on Mercedes Moné, and they end up exiting the area that the interview was taking place. And, for the most part, that looked like it was it, right? That wasn't it. We get them on their way to the ring, like near the crowd and everything. They end up at the top of the ramp. They're going at it, throwing blows. Eventually, Mercedes Moné gets the upper hand. She ends up locking, what's she calling it? Is it still the bank statement? What is she calling it?
Yeah, pretty much almost. Having Jamie Hayter tapping out and stuff. I mean, to me, I liked the whole segment. It actually showed drama. It showed believable heat, in my opinion. I still not feeling Jamie Hayter's new look, but Mercedes Moné did look good. Like, to me, it looked good. The whole segment was good. It almost somewhat reminds you of WWE, how they have those heated back and forth thing, and I like it.
what this tells me is that match is about to be really intense. Their match is probably going to be match of the night. Like, it has the potential to be the show stealer.
Yeah, because it's like you can't start a segment like that and then have a sloppy match. Like, finally, I'm more invested into the match now than before.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be right up there with Mercedes and Athena. And speaking of Athena, I still think she's going to be the one to come in and screw Mercedes out of that match.
Yeah, of course.
It has to happen. But
because we gotta
honestly,
revisit
I
that.
would love Mercedes and Jamie Hayter to have another storyline between them, or a feud or whatever, after their match at Double or Nothing, because I feel like there's something really good between them. Like, I like this aggression between both ladies, and I'm really looking forward to the match.
Yeah, we're almost 2 weeks from Double or Nothing on May 25th. So we are planning to do a prediction soon.
We may end up also doing a watch along.
Yeah.
We're still working on that. But yeah, that concludes our review of AEW Dynamite.
And once again, this is TWB. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and click on that notification bell and let us know what you think about AEW. Did you like it? Do you feel like it was a good build-up for Double or Nothing on May 25th?
For me, I'd say the show was like a 6.5 out of 10, maybe there's certain segments that I really like, but obviously there's still some stuff that just don't make no sense, or that it's just like, man, why couldn't you put somebody better on screen right now? For example, the Fatal 4-Way match between the women,
that could have been a pass.
Yeah, like Anna Jay out of nowhere, we never see her,
And then Thunder Rosa, that wasn't really
but it's just things like that. And then obviously the visual of the Don Callis family with like Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero, for what? No, you got these big dude, Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita with Josh Alexander. That's all you needed right there.
Yeah.
But it's stuff like that where it just makes me scratch my head and go, what is this? But overall, I thought it was a good show. Definitely go check out Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Moné. That segment. Check out the 6-man tag match. And what else would you say?
That's pretty much it. Thank you for tuning in on TWB. You have a great day.